مساء الخير واهلا بحضراتكم وجناب السفير. والنهارده معانا سفيره من دوله اوروبيه بالتحديد في جنوب غرب اوروبا، هي جمهوريه البرتغال. هنعرف اكتر عن ثقافتها، عن التنوع اللي موجود هناك. طبعا كره القدم اللعبه الشعبيه اللي بتجمع بيننا وبين البرتغال، وحبها بيجمع بيننا وبين البرتغال، واللعيب الشهير طبعا رونالدو اللي كل الشعب المصري الحقيقه بيحبه وبيستمتع بانه يشوف مباريات الكرة اللي هو بيشارك فيها. معانا النهاردة السفيرة مانويلا فرانكو، سفيرة جمهورية البرتغال لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. Nice to meet you and welcome in our country.
Thank you.
In our program. We will start about the relations between Egypt and Portugal and about the visit of our President Sisi to Portugal and the visit of Portugal President to Egypt. What after these two visits?
These two visits were very important because, of course, they were at the highest level, and this is the best way to bring to each other's attention the country, the peoples, the opportunities, and this was a way to establish political friendship and proximity between Egypt and Portugal, and we have been able to work from there in a very positive and friendly way.
So we have relations between Egypt and Portugal since 8th century. So it's a long distance of relations.
We have relations between Egypt and Portugal since 1942. That's when we recognized Egypt diplomatically and then opened the embassy. We had relations with Egypt in the past.
What I said in the 8th century.
There is even a Portugal-Mamluk war in the 16th century with Sultan Al-Khoury and the Portuguese, because when the Portuguese discovered this sea route to India, they started disrupting the trade that Egypt, the Mamluk, and also Ottoman had trade with India via the land for spices and for all this. And the Portuguese, once they created their alliance system in the Indian Ocean, they started fighting each other. And so that, pepper became very expensive here and all these typical problems that happen with big change. But between the Mamluk and then the 1940, it was not such a close relation. But from the 1940s, yes, we had an embassy here. And then, as you know, Portugal had a war in Africa. It was a colonial war between 1961 and 1974. And in this period, President Nasser, he wanted Portugal out of Egypt. So we had to close the embassy for a couple of years in the beginning of the 1970s, but then after 1974 we returned. So it is a solid relation, and now we hope to deepen it.
So we will talk about the relations in different fields, in different sides between Egypt and Portugal nowadays, after the two presidents of Portugal and Egypt visited each country. So we will start about trade exchange and about economic relations between Portugal and Egypt.
Well, the economic relations were really improving a lot, and the terms of trade as well, after these visits. But of course, that with the Corona, 2020 was a year that we better not talk about it. It was not a good year. Let's see if now we can. And Portugal, in the meantime, Portugal has become a modern country since it changed its regime. It opened. It became a democracy. It joined the European Union, and it modernized itself. So it is now an extremely modern country, technological, digital, with all sorts of...
You find Egypt is different, yeah?
Sorry?
You find that Egypt is different now?
Egypt is... Well, I just arrived in Egypt 2 years ago, so I have no previous experience. I was more speaking about the way that Portugal has developed and how much it has to offer. And one of the things where we have improved dramatically is in education. And this is also an area of cooperation with Egypt that we are developing we are receiving number of students that go for, these exchange programs to Portugal.
Scholarships.
Erasmus and these possibilities. And more we hope to bring here also our universities and to establish certain and institutional cooperation with the higher education system in Egypt, providing for more opportunities and also to provide opportunities that link the students here with the European system and the European mobility system. So this is something that we are...
What about the Portuguese investments in Egypt and the Egyptian investment in Portugal?
This is something that we are working on it to see if can improve. There is investment, there is companies working in both places, but we have a lot to... We can go much
You have a lot
better.
to do.
Yes.
What about exchange... trade exchange between the two countries?
Well, we import from Egypt many good things like iron, leather, chemicals, and we export a lot of paper. So maybe the paper you are writing on comes from Portugal.
You are very famous of paper. الحقيقة سعادة السفيرة لما كلمتها عن العلاقات المصرية البرتغالية وبدأت وقالت لي قد إيه هي كانت قديما موجودة من أيام القرون القديمة، يمكن بيعود ده للقرن الثامن الميلادي، وبعدين توقفت شوية وبعدين رجعت تاني وبدأت سفارة برتغالية في مصر. ويمكن قلت لها أنه الزيارتين اللي كانت الزيارة من السيد الرئيس السيسي للبرتغال في 2016 والزيارة اللي كانت من الرئيس البرتغالي لمصر 2018 يعني أضافوا إلى هذه العلاقات وإلى عمق هذه العلاقات. فقالت لي طبعا لأنه الزيارتين كانوا على مستوى عالي من رؤساء الدول، واحنا يعني بنأمل يبقى في مزيد من الاستثمارات المتبادله ما بين البرتغال وبين مصر، لكن في تبادل تجاري، في تعاون اقتصادي، في تعاون على مستوى التعليم والمنح التعليميه بين البرتغال ومصر، وخصوصا ان البرتغال من بعد الاستقلال تطورت في نواحي كثيرة جدا واشتغلت على نواحي كثيرة جدا. قلت لها طب رأيك في مصر؟ قالت لي أنا ما كنتش قاعدة في مصر قبل كده، بس طبعا أنا شايفة مصر دلوقتي على مستوى من الأداء الجيد والتعاون مع البرتغال. So we will talk about lifestyle in Portugal, about people, about diversity of nature, which is reflected on people and their style of living. Exactly. So talk to us about music, about dancing in Portugal, about festivals.
Well, the Portuguese, they love music festivals, and you have normally, and inshallah, we will have them again this year. They're starting again. Music festivals from north to south, all kinds of music. Popular music, typical music, pop music, rock music, disco music. You have big festivals, big festivals.
You have a special kind of dance, the most important dance or the most famous dance in Portugal?
We have several, more than one that are, but these are folk dance, folk music. Yes, we have, according to the region, there's more influence of like you have fandango, which is like typical like flamenco, but you also have.
You have fado dance.
Fado is not a dance; it's a song.
It's a song.
Yes, this is a song that is all over the country with different varieties, but mostly about about life and about what life makes you suffer.
It's like Shakespearean sonnets.
Well, it's not so much between. It's always more about love and love that was lost, either because the love was a fisherman and he went fishing and
it's melancholy, as we said before.
Yes, melancholy and very connected with what you suffer from love in your life. The Portuguese
suffering of love
are very emotional people. Very emotional. They always are, emotional in many ways. For instance, they are like one of the peoples in Europe that always say that the government has to take in more refugees because they see the suffering and they want them to come, and they are very emotional. Other thing that I should say about Portugal is that we have this love of the language. Maybe like you love Arabic, and this is also something that is very typical of Portugal. There is even a poet that says, my homeland is my language, is the Portuguese language. And because the Portuguese went all over the world, and they still live all over the world, because the Portuguese are 10 million in Portugal and 5 million around the world. And so this is the language that it is also an African language, because there are several countries in Africa that speak Portuguese, and Brazil, of course, is the mother of all others together, because it's a big, more representative country. And this, of course, we share with Egypt, that we have Portuguese language in more than one university here. We have here a Portuguese degree at Ain Shams University. We have also Portuguese being taught at Aswan University, and I think also at Hazar University. So that this is also something that we brought, and we hope that this will be a link for students, for people traveling, and also for people working, because it's a
connection of culture also between Portuguese and between Egyptians.
Yes.
So we will talk also about the culture cooperation between Portugal and Egypt, how much it's very important.
We do it mostly at the university level, and we are now starting, even this week here, we had a beautiful singer come to sing in Cairo in this She Arts Festival. She was this a festival organized by an Egyptian lady at Tahrir campus, and with artist singers that came from a bit all over the world, and this was a beautiful singer. We were very pleased that she got a good reception, and we hope to bring more and more to Egypt.
It's mixed bridge between Portuguese and Egyptians. Songs and dances, it's a bridge between the two countries, between the two nations.
The language of music is always universal language.
Yeah, of course. الحقيقة سعادة السفيرة كلمتنا عن طبيعة الشعب في البرتغال، وعن الموسيقى والرقص اللي هم بيتميزوا بيه. عندهم أنواع مختلفة من الرقصات وأنواع مختلفة من الأغاني الشهيرة. في منهم اللي بيعبر عن مشاكل الحب والعاطفة، وقد إيه الإنسان بيعاني من هذه المشاعر. فبتقول لي الحقيقه ان الشعب البرتغالي شعب يعني بيتمتع بمشاعر راقيه جدا وعاليه جدا، وبيعبر عن هذه المشاعر من خلال الفن. عندهم العديد ايضا من الاعياد والاحتفالات. فكلمتها عن التعاون الثقافي بين مصر والبرتغال، وقد ايه ده من اهم انواع التعاون اللي بيعمق الصله بين الشعبين. فقالت لي الحقيقه ده بيتم فعلا على المستوى الرسمي وعلى المستوى الشعبي. وفي احد المغنيات البرتغاليات هتقيم حفله هنا في القاهره قريبا ان شاء الله.
Fica bem esta franqueza, fica bem que o povo nunca desmente. A alegria da pobreza está nesta grande riqueza de dar e ficar contente. 4 paredes caiadas, cheirinho alecrim, cacho de uvas doiradas, 2 rosas no jardim, o São José das Azulejos, mais o sol da primavera, uma promessa de beijos, 2 braços à minha espera. Com certeza, não é com certeza uma casa portuguesa.
I feel that you understand what I said in Arabic. A little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah? You can understand, but you can't speak.
Exactly. And understand only?
Yeah.
A little bit.
So we'll talk about cooperation at the level of sports and about Ronaldo, about Kirosh, who is coming here for the national Egyptian team as a coach. Talk to us about the cooperation in sporting level.
This is very important, of course, because, soccer is a sport that people love. You know, they love in Portugal, they love in Egypt, and not just in Portugal and in Egypt.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, the Portuguese are very devoted to their big players, and Ronaldo, of course, is very. Everybody loves Ronaldo in Portugal because he's a great player, but also because he comes from Portugal. And because, of course, he's also such a great example of someone that is so
independent.
He worked for whatever he got, and even though he's up there, he
works on himself.
Working on himself to be excellent and to improve his performance. And this, of course, is a fantastic, fantastic example that we are.
It's an image.
Very grateful that you can, become a good professional, an excellent professional, and still, it is a great, great example. And we are happy that we have now a tradition of professional footballers that come to Egypt to work with Egyptian teams. And now, for the first time, it will be with the Egyptian national team. We must wish him big luck. And this is easy because his luck would also be Egyptian national team luck. So let's hope that they will be happy with him and that they will achieve great results as they deserve.
That's my sons told me to ask you about. So I insist to ask you about football and about Ronaldo, about the coach of the national team.
I think that maybe they know more than I do.
Yeah, I think so. الحقيقة أنا بتكلم مع سعادة السفيرة عن التعاون في مجال الرياضة، لأنه الاثنين الحقيقة بيحبوا جدا الشعبين، الشعب البرتغالي والمصري بيحبوا جدا كرة القدم كلعبة شعبية. واتكلمنا عن رونالدو قد ايه الشعب المصري بيحبه الشعب البرتغالي، وطبعا معظم شعوب العالم. قالت لي رونالدو مش بس لعيب كرة ماهر برتغالي، ولكن هو صورة ومثال للتحدي اللي بيشتغل على نفسه، اللي بيحاول يطور من نفسه. فالحقيقة ناس كتير جدا بتحبه. المدير الفني الحالي للمنتخب المصري هو أيضا برتغالي. قالت لي طبعا أنا بتمنى له الحظ السعيد، وأن حظه السعيد أكيد هيبقى حظ سعيد للمنتخب المصري بإذن الله. We talk about Portuguese cuisine. What's your favorite food and what's your dishes
Portuguese cuisine is a wonderful cuisine in that sense that it is a very simple cuisine. It is like the food like in the Mediterranean food. It's not very transformed. It is simple. You get it from the sea, you get it from your garden, and it is little transformed. And then you have the Portuguese cuisine. It's at the same time countryside cuisine. It is also very lives off the strength of the ingredients because you know
I think fish is more important.
fish is very important. Why? Also, the fish is very good there because of the fact that the water is cold water.
Yeah.
So this ocean that is cold gives you especially tasty and firm fish.
Oh.
And so that the Portuguese are devoted to fish. They worship fish. And also then
It's
there
a very
are
healthy food. Fish is very
there are
important to our
other
health.
traditions from the time where we did not have refrigerators.
No.
And we have this salted fish that also the Portuguese love. Not all of them love, but most of them love, which is called a variety of codfish. It's called bacalhau. Bacala, they say.
Bacala, it's a kind of fish.
It is like a fish that is caught in the North Sea and is a fat fish, white fat fish, and then it is salted.
Ah, so
And then when you wish to cook it, you soak it in water so that
it will be fresh.
it will be without the salt fresh. You then cook it in a specific
You can keep
way.
it by its salt.
And it is called, like the Portuguese have over 1,000 ways to cook this fish. Of course, because it is salted and maybe away from the sea in Portugal for a long time, this would be the only fish that you had before there were refrigerators. So that, of course, you have to be very creative, because if you were eating always from the same fish, you had to change the recipes.
you have to be
So you
creator of
Yes.
يعني many types of fish.
Exactly. And the other thing that the Portuguese cuisine has in common with Egypt is that the Portuguese love sugar. They love sweets that are extremely sweet. And of course, I am convinced that this comes from the Arabic tradition, the Muslim, because you have this very look-alike, but other than almond and sugar, the Portuguese, they added eggs. So that you have also thousands of variations of this almond and this sugar and this egg. Egg yolk, yellow egg, not the white. The egg yolks. So you will do a huge variety of different
cakes and bakery
and sweets that are, with the sugar syrup and the eggs cooked inside the sugar syrup, and in all manners and varieties. And then also there's something specific to the Portuguese cuisine, which is because they traveled so early, like in the 15th century, and they brought all these ingredients to Portugal. So from very, very early, we had coconut and pepper and cinnamon, and all these spices that came from the Orient were very early compared to other European countries, part of our typical cuisine.
I hope I can test. But starting with fish, because it's healthy, then we can eat sweets. Thank you for your visit to us. Really appreciate your coming. I really love this interview.
Thank you, the same.
You are very familiar, and you give us a brief about your nation, about Portuguese, and the relations between us. I feel that for this interview.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
في نهاية الحلقة بنشكر سعادة السفيرة مانويلا فرانكو. Thank you. سفيرة جمهورية البرتغال بجمهورية مصر العربية. بنشكركم. قد إيه بنعرف كتير عن الشعوب، عن طبيعتها، عن فنونها من خلال جناب السفير. شكرا.